Hi, everybody, and welcome to my community. I'm here with my lovely guest, Alec Bornstein. Alec, how you feeling, bud?
Better than I deserve.
Today's wonderful theme is comedy, and my boy can riff. But before we have him riff, Alec, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. We might be here all day because where do we start? Best thing you know about me, like I told many people, I'm a self-hating Jew from New York. That's a good place to start with me. From Long Island. This is actually how you do pronounce it. I've been living in Jersey for 5 years and loving every minute of it. Like I said, from Long Island, where people are insane. I'm one of those people, but I've been born again in the Monmouth County, and I'm loving it. It's, what else can we say? I'm not from Staten Island. I'm from the other island. People get that confused, so don't attack me. I'm not from Staten, Italy, so forgive me. But my mother is from Bayonne, so I have plenty of Italiano in my bloods. We have a good time where I'm from.
Good. Okay. So basically, what we're going to talk about is kind of what we were doing when we went to lunch, man. I just want you to kind of riff and talk about different topics, and if you want to tell stories, but the floor is yours.
The floor is yours, as they say. Well, I had a interesting weekend, but when you have an 8-month-old baby like I do, that's always interesting because it's fun waking up with baby every day. It's get her going, get her to daycare, and it's fun because at this age they start looking at you and recognizing you. You get that little validation, like 6 months of cleaning massive shitty diapers or whatever. I don't want to say it sort of sucks your soul, but you're sort of like, all right, like. This is my purpose, I guess, but it's good because now when we're doing that, you have a little thing giggling and smiling. She finds it funny because it is funny. It's hilarious. You pooped your pants and now it's my job to change them. It's, I find it funny. I find the humor in it. I find if I talk to her about it while we're doing it, we have a better time too. I ask her, did you poop your pants? It's not really how it works when you're 8 months old, but sometimes she'll just smile. I'm usually wrong. She's had really bad farts lately, so I've been wrong lately, but whatever. Thankfully at daycare, because I do get the updates on the app, they tell you, what's going on. They let you know what kind of movements they're having. And I try to dodge them as much as I can. Like it's a little game her and I play. Like I say, you save the poops for mommy. That's our thing. Save the poops for mommy. And every time there's no poop there, I'm like, good job. And then when there is a poop for me, I say, oh no, how'd this happen? This is not how it's supposed to work. But John, when we go on the airplane with her, which we've taken her 2 places, I am Mr. I change her in the bathroom where when they see me walking the baby with the backpack down the aisle, the look of horror on these people's faces, like, they're sending him in? That's why I go in there, I do my thing, I come out. I've come out to an applause at times. I'm not even kidding you. Especially you get some old people in there, they're like, isn't this fucking guy in there? 10? Because I'll shave too. They're like, he's like 10 years old. What the hell's going on in there? So that's why I always have to have the aisle seat. I always have to have an aisle seat. We will plan trips around me having an aisle seat because I need to get to the diapers quick. I need access. A lot of people, they're worried about the cart with the elbow and all that, and they're worried about people inconveniencing them. I'll get up, so I don't have to ask you to get up. There's nothing like being jammed in the window next to 2 strangers, or even, wife or whatever, you know what I mean? So aisle seat, baby. These are my priorities these days, man.
This is how it goes, man.
This is how it goes.
Yeah.
These are the important things. Planning ahead, like we were talking about the restaurant. I'm a Jew from New York. I like my napkins.
Oh yeah. Break it down. Break it down for the audience.
It's about being prepared. It's about being better than everyone and having a nice wad of napkins in your pocket, whether it's before a show, a dinner, you're going out. To see somebody in distress because they need to wipe their face is sad because napkins are free at restaurants. And unless I mean, you could be not discreet and I guess get caught with a big wad like Larry did, but no, it's, you take as many as you need, you fold them up in your pocket, just like a gentleman, and you go about your business. This is the way it's done. This is the way people used to do things, in, society. So I don't know, I'm trying to keep it classy, with some, some mints and some, napkins in my pocket, to offset the vape in the other pocket and, other things.
You're like one of those walking like bed.
I'm a walking men's room attendant. Yes,
exactly.
Yes,
100%.
Minus the toilet humor. That's where my wife comes in because she likes what makes her laugh is not necessarily funny. It's just foul, and then she finds it funny. So then I laugh because that is hilarious. Just saying really gross stuff and then laughing through it. That's funny to me. It's somebody could be so gross.
Yeah, no, man.
You know how it is. I don't know. I mean, like, there's things it takes being married, but then there's things you don't need to know.
Of course. So why don't you break down some of the intricacies of your job and your day to day as a self-employed individual?
I'm self-employed. I have my own company. We do leasing for new cars. I've been in the car business, I don't know, for, close to more than 10 years, going on, second decade now. I started from the bottom and left at the top. Started at the bottom with a guy saying, why don't we write it on a fucking cocktail napkin? That's what they used to say to me. I was moving $500,000 cars, but I quit that because, what happens is when you work every Saturday, mostly for a decade, you miss out on a lot. And that's what happens. Thank God New Jersey is the type of state where they give guys off on Sunday. New York, you work Sunday. And so, they wonder why divorce is so high in that business, among just the people every day to do the job. So it's one of those things that I've removed myself from the in-person role. I have a call center. I have a book of business that I work from, all different clients I've had over the years, and we service that now, and that allows me to spend time with my family. That's ultimately what I wanted to accomplish by this age. So when my daughter was born, I could be with her like I have been for the most, for past 8 months. And it's good she goes to daycare now, my wife and I feel, because she gets to learn things. She's around more kids. There's a lot more going on there than there is in my house, as much as the toys we have, just in terms of interaction.
Sure.
So, we're happy that's, aiding her development. It's up the street and I'm 5 minutes away and I work from home, and we take care of her on Friday, today. But, it's one of those things that most people might ask you, like, why do you have an 8-month-old in daycare? Especially if you live up the street and work from home. It's tough, there's not a lot of work-life balance, every day. I worked in person in the snow at 6 a.m. for years. I dreamed of the work from home job. You know what I mean? But I've lost my mind. And I was on the edge, so it didn't take too much to put me over.
Of course.
That whole hour-long drive or half-hour commute to dinner and to see your family after the job that a man or even woman needs, or what have you, they need that to decompress. When you're working upstairs and dinner is ready, the stairs from there to there, you're still worked up, by the time you hit the dinner table. And so, it's got its pros and cons, especially if you have a high pressure job, sales, high pressure, but so I do that. I like helping people. I generally like helping people. I hear a lot of horror stories, believe it or not. Like this weekend, I heard a really bad one. I'll tell you about.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell the class.
It was bad. Gentleman owns a. I won't tell you his first name. Last name Patel.
Yeah,
last name Patel. Owns a motel in Hazlitt. That won't be named. Found me on Facebook, which is great. I told him to come by. I told him to send me all your info. He says, I live nearby. I'll just come by. This is great. This was like last Saturday, right? Comes by. He had just got a new vehicle. This was the one month old car. Nissan Rogue. We all know what those are, you know. It's an affordable vehicle. Actually, probably one of the last affordable vehicles for Americans. You know, take it from me. I know the prices, you know.
Sure.
Truth be told, that's not a, SHIT box. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what happened was he went, and I have no problem saying their name. They might sound slander. He went to, okay. Then I won't say the name. He went to a dealership that sells those sort of vehicles, and they ended up taking him for a magic carpet ride. Usually you pay about $300 to $400 for such a vehicle. I mean, that was years ago, actually. I'm wrong. Now it's $400 to $500, truth be told.
Okay.
You know, nowadays with inflation and the price of cars, you know, he was paying $896, John, and not on a finance to lease. And that is terrible, for that man. There's no reason that should be the case. And I really felt bad for him. And when he told me where he went, I've known about their operation for years. They're a scam dealer, you know, and it's tough. It's tough because sometimes when you're helped by your own people, you trust them. If that makes sense. And that's where that dealer is located, for example. And so I feel terrible when I see people taken advantage of in that manner. I'm still trying to help them. What we're going to try to do is do a lease buyout. We're going to try to get him to just purchase the car at this point, and then we can, instead of making payments to the rental, because if he makes all the payments over the next 3.5 years, it'll be more than the vehicle is even offered for. And that's just on the lease. So there's no, I'm just trying to explain to him, and he understood. You know, it's better to rip the Band-Aid off now, knowing the situation. I mean, like that's my advice.
Yeah.
Instead of leasing the car for the next 3 years and paying $40,000. Rip the Band-Aid off now, lose $3,000, but we'll go into a finance or something. We'll find a solution, but this is not a solution going forward. There's no way this is a solution. And so it's tough, it was the end of the month, past a couple of days or so. So I'm still going to try to help them, going to try to figure it out as best as I can. I wish people would come to see me beforehand. I don't even run a consulting agency like that. We're more of a lead generator in that sense that, people send us information and we facilitate the transaction, but we also pass along the information to trusted parties that can facilitate the deal. Sure. So I just wish that person would have been in contact with any of them or me, because that all sounds fine, but this is why, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, it's not me trying to convince you overpaid by $10. This is what goes on at franchise places. So, I'm a broker, for lack of a better word. People think that's a dirty word. The only people that think that's a dirty word are the people that are at the establishments that do that to people. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because I make a profit and I feed my family, and people save money with me. See how that is? So I don't have to, you don't have to take advantage of somebody to make a profit in the car business. That's if you know what you're doing. It took me over 10 years to know, truth be told. If anyone tells you they know what they're doing 1 year into a business, they're lying to themselves and you, So, I'd rather find dynamic ways. I'm very transparent, even on, hiring, transactions, because when you can pull a rabbit out of a hat, I was a magician before. I was a magician in high school and in elementary school. I'm a magician by trade. So I like to do magic for people. And when I tell people that what you need is the magic wand to be waved, that's what he needs. You need someone to come out with a magic wand and wave it. Take it all away, right? That's what I try to do for people. That's what sets me apart. People think it's funny that, I'm very cheesy way. I still don't talk to people, because you know why? Because if we're not making people laugh, everything's too uptight. If you can break down barriers, if everyone can admit that, maybe we need to listen to somebody else, or maybe, we need to think of a new game plan, then that's okay. That's okay. As long as that person is trusted, with reputable, backing. So I try to help people the best I can. I always say I'm never the cheapest, but that's also because I'm not full of it. You know what I mean? If it's too good to be true, I've been the victim of that. too good to be true, and other things.
It usually is. Yeah.
So, I during the pandemic, I used to tell people, yeah, my name is Alec, but just call me Mr. Bad News because that's all I'm going to have for you. And the prices were so bad in 2022 that people, they had a hard time buying cars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you're really acting in reality with them, like I live on Earth. That's always where I say it. Like, somebody asked me, where is that guy? Where are you? Where were you in your pricing? I said, I'm on Earth. I'm on Earth just like you guys. It stinks, but it is what it is. It's one of those things we are undoing. My generation is undoing what all the other generations did. The silent, the baby boomers, those were the rip-off artists for the past 40, 50 years. I couldn't rip anybody off in 1997. I was in school. I was a little kid, So when people come to me with these stories, but they're still afraid, I think, well, there's been a lot of time since then. And I also wasn't involved then. So there's no reason that you'll be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, that won't happen with me. And, it's
you're here to help.
Well, it's, everyone has to help each other. It takes two to tango, It's tough though. People know it. Like I explain to people nowadays, like if nobody realizes this, nobody has any money in America. Notice that lately? Nobody's got any money. Where'd all the money go? It goes to the same things we were always buying. The milk, the bread, time to get the milk and bread, right? Goes to all that stuff. I'm sure you, in your house, we talk about it too. You come in with the groceries and you say, all this for it was all this for,
right.
$60. Like I paid $60. I didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
Same stuff, $100. $150 now. $200.
Right.
You were getting, that was $60 worth of groceries.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, dude. It increases exponentially. It's a really tough situation, and it's moments like that where it is important to have people, because I don't know if I told you, I also was a broker at a negotiation firm, and I did logistics for charter bus industry.
Oh.
And they
broker's a broker, no matter what you're at.
Yeah.
Broker, you know what to do.
And I at times they would get over on people. They weren't as honest, and it hurt my psyche. Actually, it really
immigrants. I used to run the largest rental car branch in New Jersey, besides of the airport, like home base. I had 400 cars under my. When I moved to New Jersey, that was the job they gave me. It was for 400 cars. We had over 60 rentals a day. Everyone off the boat from different places. And what happened was that the local staff was being run over by the customer base, and when when the inmates run the asylum, as they say, the only way to fight fire is with fire. So they brought their own crazy person in, me, and I'm like, I say, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about something, and you can go to the back of the line, and you can have a seat, and the problem is because we're not gonna do that, I'm running the show. It's the greatest show on earth, I used to say, but I'm running the show. Let's get something straight,
Yeah.
And I'm not even like that personally, but I won't be pushed around either. Not after working on Sunrise Highway. Not going from there to Route 27. No. Please, I didn't take that in. Like the other day, I had my neighbor's old man was trying to stare me down. Even my wife even saw it. Mm-hmm. I said, dude, I didn't take that in New York City. I'm not going to take it in the parking lot here at Madelon. You crazy?
Yeah. Crazy. No, dude, it's important in these times, man, where we do notate the fact that obviously they're definitely turbulent times, but I think
terrible, right?
We do need to use some water to put out the fire, metaphorically speaking, dude.
Oh, that's why I don't like. That's why I'm a centrist, because anybody that's an extremist, anyone that pulls people away.
Yeah, no.
Bring people together.
And
if you can be, and that's what centrists do.
Yeah, no. You need. I mean, yeah. If we're going down that bandwagon, it is important to understand that, especially from a political standpoint. The left and the right, probably of the same coin. of the same facet. It's really important to kind of just understand that there's probably accurate portions in both parties, but in order to come together, we do need that like-minded individual to bring balance to the force, as it were.
Yeah, that's why most people think straight. They think straight down, down the middle in most issues. If you really talk to them, it seems like.
Yeah, no, it's one conversation or one thing I've asked. I don't know if I've ever asked you this, and I'm going to ask you it in a second. Before I go into it, it's the importance of the question. What are 3 dreams in life you would want? Three dreams. Anything you could have.
That I don't have already, or if I've already.
No, but no, whatever you want. Like if it's like financial freedom, whatever.
The thing is with me, I've got all those right now. So it was to get married to the love of my life, to have a baby, and the dream would be for my father to meet the child, but that won't happen. So that's the only dream that's actually still a dream.
Okay.
Because he passed a year ago next month. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, what happened when I was, by the time I reached 30, I had realized something. I'm the luckiest guy I've ever met. And that doesn't sound good when you first hear it to somebody else, or even for me when I say it every time. Mm-hmm. But I mean really more than that. It's, the life I've been given up to date. Before I was, married, child, whatever, up to date now. The life I've been given, life I have now that I will continue to live, God willing, Mm-hmm. I consider myself the luckiest guy I've ever met still, because, and that's why it goes back to what we were saying in the restaurant. I'm an empath by trade. Didn't grow up, I grew up in a house of 4 people, 2 parents and a sister, you know what I mean? So, 2 people are alike, and the other 2 people are alike. We'll talk about that after. You know what I mean? Across, my sister's like my father, and I'm like my mother in terms of the way we deal with people. Mm-hmm. I'm still his son, so you know what I mean.
Sure.
And she's still, and my mother's still close with my sister. But we all know that. You know what I mean? It's like it's clear as day. It's like no one just like argues that point anymore. But so. Where I was going with that is that I just feel like I've been so blessed to be given everything I have been, all the experiences I've had. And we haven't talked about that, because we'll be here for a long time. I have, all my stories are old stories, unless they're from the other day with the kids, it's baby. But, the crazy thing about it is all my stories are true. Like, we had a lot of good times. The thing that most people don't know about me, if they have just met me, and because there's no way they would, is that I had a lot of trauma growing up. I grew up in a house with domestic violence 5 days a week. So that, so the thing is, most of the problems that like people have in this town is that maybe a lack of a couple extra bucks, right? It helped everyone out. Love the family, love the children, whatever. A couple extra bucks would be great. The problem that we had, or they had growing up, is that they had $1 million. And so why were they, screaming at each other every night, over one thing or another? Why were the children and the mother begging the father to go out for business meetings or concerts in Manhattan? You know what I mean? Lavish vacations, sometimes 5, sometimes more than that per year. Every year, so on and so forth. Didn't change a single thing. Continue. Went on until, whatever. So that's probably where, and being the youngest child, probably where I get from coming off from being in entertainment or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just, not professionally, but just for friends is being the youngest. That's a common thing of being the young kid, always playing up to the people around you,
Sure.
Also being a mediator, you know what I mean? They had that thing in school. I don't know if you guys did it here in Jersey, peer mediator, maybe like back in like 5th grade or something.
Like 5th or 6th.
They had the kids sort of like, oh, what a bullshit thing baby boomers came up with, because it was only the popular kids that were given those jobs, and they were dicks, as we all know. So to have them come in and try to mediate a situation, who the fuck do you think? You weren't even. Can I sit with you at lunch? No, but you're gonna come tell me how I should act in the recess. Not me, because I flew it in between, but others. I always found that amazing. And the ones that try to do it with me, I was like, Matthew, shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna mediate the situation. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But not all kids talk like that at 11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I grew up hanging out with the Gottis a lot. My best friend growing up in 3rd and 4th grade was Frank Gotti, John Gotti Jr.'s oldest son. So well, when people try to talk to me about mob stuff or like people, affiliates or some guy they know, they want to talk about stuff on YouTube, all these different things. Guys, you don't know. You know what I mean? You know, like it's when you grow up, growing up with Junior's kids or whatever, it's like what people actually go through. You know what I mean? Like that people are actually good people, despite what everyone tries to like say about people. You know what I mean? It's not like these aren't good people. They're just people. You know what I mean? It's like no one can control. So it's tough. You know what I mean? It's people in those situations can also recognize other people in other situations, and they can recognize good in other people, and that's how a lot of times they link up. They see, oh, you're a good guy too. Everyone else here is a fuck. You know what I mean? Because when you deal with a lot of shit that's going on, you can see through children as a child. You can see what they're doing. You deal with adults acting crazy. You think you can't psychoanalyze a child? You know what I mean? So that's why there's some kids that are a little, more mature in classes than others. Doesn't mean they're smarter. I was on the slow end of everything. I was a terrible student throughout my whole life. I'm a terrible student. Somehow I ended up going to the same college as my wife, and graduated, but pretty much because I'm a bullshit artist, and it's but it's tough though. College is tough, you know what I mean? It's not for everyone. But yeah, with me it's that's why nowadays I'm very much like I can go, so like with people, customers or whatever, they want to go 0 to 100 or whatever. I'm a 200 mile an hour motherfucker. You know what I mean? Not because I like to be, but it's because I had to be, and I have to be. So if you want to go 100 miles an hour and try to run over me, try it. I've had guys do it, grown ass men, whatever. I'm fucking arguing with my father since I'm 12 years old. Who the fuck are you? You think I'm afraid of you? Get the fuck out of here. My man was almost 300 pounds and 6 feet tall. Talking about big belly, you know what I mean? Raging. So please, you know what I mean? People think like that, they try to get work, that people try to get a little short with you or whatever. Stop. But as we discussed, when you work for people, you can only bite your tongue so long. Usually by the time you're 30, it's gone because, you know what I mean? You've been biting it. And then, what are you left with? You're left with your upper lip, John.
Circling back to what we said before, bud, the reason I asked you what your dreams were because I've asked so many people that question. I would say, I want to say hundreds of people at this point.
Oh,
and all different ethnicities, religions, creeds, you name it.
They probably know. They probably had an answer.
But the thing is they did have an answer, and it's always very similar: shelter, love, health. It's always
basic necessities. You're like, I asked you your dream. You're like,
yeah, and even
normalcy.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, dude.
I grew up going to jam band concerts at 11 years old, festivals. I dress like I'm going to a meeting. I'm an undercover agent. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. We knew members of the Grateful Dead growing up. We knew members, my dad's best friend was in the Allman Brothers band growing up. I've been, used to go to those shows at 12 years old. But I don't walk around with a tie-dye t-shirt on because he told me not to. He used to tell me, you want everyone to know your business, like a banner inside of a store? Do that. You want nobody to know your business? Don't show them your business then. And that's the way he taught me. That's the way my parents told me. They knew we were smoking weed at 13, 14, 15. Shit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they used to say, don't get caught. I don't know where you got it. Don't get caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for adults only. Don't get caught.
Yeah. But,
but yeah, the dream question. What are your dreams, man? I mean, it's okay to ask you. It's
no, I know.
I know I put you on the spot.
I've been asked it. It's funny. Only a few people have returned the question.
You might have hit a few. You have a beautiful home. You have a beautiful wife.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You might have checked a few boxes.
Yeah.
It's sort of thing like you don't want to say as if, because it's sort of, when we're older, a little older, especially when you have a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Give us that.
Yeah.
So how our minds work now is that we don't want to diminish everything we have.
It is
because I'm living the dream. Which is an expression to say in the car, but is living the dream. You might be living the dream right now too.
Yeah. I really think about it, dude. And it's like, now I'm having the opportunity to leave my current job, doing a podcast. I just published a book. I have a child on the way. Thank you. Like,
it's all good stuff.
It's all good stuff.
Why not you?
Yeah. Why not? That's always the line, right?
It was somebody said that to me. Someone said that to me, a mentor of mine, when I was working at a high-end dealer. So I was sort of like, I didn't have the slick suits or whatever. I did when I was a kid. I didn't now. And I said, well, maybe somebody else should be doing this. He's like, why not you?
Yeah.
You're passionate. You know everything. Why not you? And when he said that to me, somebody who you look up to, you think, oh, fuck, I guess there's something to that, know?
No, it's
not, you know what I mean?
It's a very profound line, because
we're not taught to sort of feel that way about ourselves.
No, we're not. We're not.
And I come off, as my sister, or other people would say, very, what do you call it? When somebody, entitled. I've been accused of being very entitled. I mean, I'm not 18-year-old anymore, Christ almighty. But you know what I'm saying? That sounds like something an entitled person would say. No, not when you've been on the battlefield, bud.
No. Yeah. Seriously, man.
I've never served.
Metaphorically speaking.
I've never served. Yeah. And the people that do, I give you props and discounts.
But I think we're going to wrap it up. Do you have any closing remarks? Also, if you want to name your business for the audience in case they want to get that car hookup.
Yeah. Well, my business is smartleasetristate.com. And we do all makes and models. We deliver nationwide. We're a nationwide lead generation company, but also we can deal with you direct. If you'd like a new vehicle or even a pre-owned vehicle, we can source that for you and have it delivered to your door. Very simple. No middleman. It's you can deal with me direct. Hablo Espanol. We have agents standing by, also Chinese. So feel free. And that's our kind of family business.
Oh, by the way, what's on the back of your business card? Tell the client.
My business card is a picture of a Jewish man at Easter with his wife and child.
That's right. So that's
he's Irish Catholic, I might.
So that's all we have for today for another episode of My Community. Thank you, Alec, for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure, John. Thanks for having me.
And stay tuned for the next